Hey, it's me, Chance Johnson with 140th Wing Public Affairs, and you're listening to the 140th Wing Podcast, alongside our new Public Affairs Officer, Tech Sergeant Stephanie Canada. Today we're speaking with Briana Ontiveros. She's the Airman. Did I say your name right?
Yeah.
Ontiveros? Okay.
Yeah.
She's the Airman and Family Readiness Program Manager. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit first about what's your background. Where do you come from? You were prior military, right?
I was
Okay.
prior military, 23 years for the Air. I started in active duty, did 10 years with them. Last round was with AWACS. That's the reason why I left active duty.
Okay.
And then I joined the reserve. About a year and a half into the reserve, I became an AGR in recruiting, and that's where I spent my last 10 or 11 years. So 23 years total, all with the Air.
And obviously that kind of informed your decision to assume this role here. Well, first of all, can you tell me a little bit about Airman and Family Readiness? What's the purpose that it serves?
So we are basically all things families and service members. I have resources. I call myself Google for military resources. And I help take care of the families while the airmen are deployed. And I get the airmen ready to deploy and then everything in between.
Do you have folks working with you, or are they kind of like on a case-by-case basis, or what's your role?
My role is it. I am
Okay.
the only person running the Airman and Family Readiness. I do have a readiness assistant right now.
Okay.
But that's not full time. So it's just me. I'm a one-woman show.
Give us an overview of the resources that you can provide to airmen.
Honestly, I can provide anything from animal care to hospice.
Okay.
And everything in between. If there is a need, I can find it. Between the Air and the Army Guards, Soldier and Family Readiness Specialists, we have hundreds and hundreds of resources locally and across the nation. I basically get a phone call. Airman says, hey, I need financial assistance. We'll sit down and we'll talk about it. We'll kind of peel back the layers of the onion, because there's never just one reason why you need financial assistance. There's other things that go with it. And then I just start finding the resources. So maybe they need a loan from the Kong Foundation. I'll explain that process. Maybe they just need some grocery cards. I've got some of those, and I can provide those to the airmen and their families. I think I worked with you at one point. We were trying to find resources for your parents.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I can do that. And we work with not just currently serving, but we also serve veterans as well. And I mean, we've got people who have gone on deployment. They're like, I don't have anybody to watch my dog. I found them the resources for long-term care for their animals.
Mm-hmm.
We're keeping them ready for deployment. We're keeping them ready to serve the mission. So, we're very fluid. I mean, like I said, we do everything from animal care to we've helped with finding hospice care for service members' parents. So, our primary resources that we focus on these days has been financial. The economy's been a little tough, so people have been struggling a little bit. So we've got resources, and we have a personal financial counselor that we refer to all the time, and the three of them are great as far as like helping set a budget or maybe advising like for investments and whatnot.
Would you say around this time of year you find yourself especially busy with it being the holidays?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We but fortunately we have some fabulous programs that are run by the Kong Foundation and the Colorado National Guard. We have Adopt a Family, and we had, I believe, 35 families get adopted this year, and we just have donors that they get the shopping list, and then they go and shop and we deliver the toys to the service members.
Mm-hmm.
We also have the meal assistance program where we can do grocery cards for holiday meals. We did Thanksgiving, and now we're doing the Christmas Hanukkah. And then there's always the Kong Foundation. We've always got financial resources available for folks if they're in need of, maybe they need help with their electric bill or their rent.
Is it you all who are responsible? I say you all, like you said, you're running the show. Is his name Brian? You provide that resource,
Brian
right?
Cameron, yeah, our
Okay.
MFLEC, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And what does he do?
So he is our military family life counselor. So he is basically he is a social worker counselor, but he's off the books, so it's non-medical. If he feels that during the course of a conversation that behavioral health is needed, then he'll refer. But he doesn't write anything down. He doesn't report to anybody. He doesn't give any information to commanders. It's completely confidential. Even if I refer somebody to him, I don't even get information back on whether or not they were assisted.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I mean, he even beyond that, he's set up. He's gone above and beyond on certain days of the week he'll have like mindfulness
Yeah, absolutely.
programs
Yeah, he
and classes.
does a half-hour mindfulness in person here at the FSS from I believe 1:30 to 2 on Wednesdays. I think the holidays have been a little hectic with schedules, so we haven't been able to do that. But he does come into the building every Wednesday, where he'll do his 1 hour virtual podcast, so to speak, and then he'll also take clients face-to-face interviews.
Cool. And so people are aware that's in building 801 where the chaplain's office is,
Yep.
in case they're looking for him. Maybe just to kind of like even humanize this a little bit, like I can give an example of like what I sought out help for. My dad, he's a prior enlisted guy, served from 66 to 70. And about a year ago, he was diagnosed with dementia. And so I was always kind of brainstorming since that diagnosis of, what are some resources I could get for him? What's available to him? Like, what is he entitled to? And it just kind of I had a bell ring one day, remembering, when you met with us that first time at drill weekend, and you said, even help can extend to family members, parents, that sort of thing. So went down the hall and just asked you like, hey, this is my dad's situation. Military during Vietnam era, this is what he's diagnosed with. Can you point me in the direction of some resources that can be helpful for him? And you put me in touch with
Tabitha Friel,
right?
Yep.
And who is she with?
She's our transition assistance advisor. So she's actually works for Congress. There's 2 of them in the state, and that's all she does. Is she just helps veterans currently serving and past served to get all of the benefits that they're entitled to, regardless of situation.
Mm-hmm. She was amazing, helping me, kind of like making me aware of things that I would have never had thought that would have been possible for potential resources or entitlements or benefits for my dad. And just her putting me in touch with the right people, with the VA, us kind of being under the impression of like, yeah, I think he's got, this very small, 10% disability for like hearing loss. And then realizing he's got, a huge list of potential things that he might be entitled to.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
without you and, without you reaching out to her and putting me in touch with her, like we would never have known to even like track down those resources.
Yeah,
so.
She's been great with providing me resources, even with past conflicts. So the Blue Water, the Navy situation in Vietnam, has now been extended inland. So it's not just those that were serving on ships, it's now serving inland. So she keeps me up to date on all of that information. She sends that stuff to me all the time. So the new PAC Act, that's going on. She's been keeping me up to date to those things as well.
Yeah, so you have a good network for sure. What would you say is another good way for people to reach you via email or your phone?
Email and texting me.
Okay.
I always have my cell phone with me, so they can call me, they can text me. I also get emails on my phone, so if they just want to email me, I'll respond. I am 24/7, so that phone's never far from my reach.
I just want to clarify, your program, are you familiar with the J9?
Yeah.
So your programs are, I think, they're independent, right? Though
We fall under the
J9.
umbrella. Yeah, we fall
Okay.
under the umbrella of the J9. I report directly to the state family program director, Suzanne Boy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I do work hand in hand with all of the J9 resources to set up briefings, like say for our Key Spouse volunteers that need to have their annual training with suicide prevention or sexual assault. I work with them on that. We also have a representative from the J9 specifically for the wing, and that's Henry Hernandez, and I believe his specialty is family and child abuse prevention. But I fall under that umbrella.
I was curious, it sounds like you offer a lot of different resources. I was wondering if there are any areas specifically that you can identify that are underutilized that you wish people were more aware of that's available?
Oh, wow. Honestly, I would say our mental health resources. We have some really good ones that either are free or reduced fee for our members. The Given Hour offers a 1 hour a week a session for 52 weeks. So per incident, per issue, and that's open to the family members, dependents, anybody who's, whether they're currently serving or past serving as well. So I think our MFLAC and our outside resources for behavioral health, I think those are the ones that are underutilized, just because I think there's still a stigma with the mental health issue. And with this wing's mission, with space and with fighters, I think we're so afraid that we're going to lose our security clearance. But we need to emphasize that, I think, a little bit more, that we would rather you get care and get treated than end up a statistic.
Absolutely. And especially I feel like in the state of the world as it is now, I mean, I've even experienced roadblocks trying to get mental health treatment for my children. It seems like a lot of places are at capacity or not taking on new patients. So
yeah, well, come and see me. I'll get you I'll get you the list of resources so that you can reach out.
Yeah. And then I was also curious, given the holiday season, I think it'd be nice to have some warm and fuzzies. Do you have any success stories that you'd like to share?
I mean, I do. I have a few airmen here in the wing that I highly encouraged to sign up for Adopt a Family. And a couple of folks have said, it's more like pride, like I don't want to ask for handouts, somebody's more needing. That's exactly what our program is for those that are in need, maybe just need a boost. Some with special needs kids, and it's a little bit more difficult for mom and dad to go and, get the presents. Someone with a lot of children. That can kind of stretch your budget kind of thing. So, we've had a few that have said, grumbled and been the Grinch and said, no, I don't want to. And we convinced them, whether us or leadership. And the look on their face is great when they see just the quantity that our donors are just so supportive and provide for them.
I kind of wonder, how I know that while we know that these programs are important and we're Air Force wide, military wide, they're doing everything to stand them up, but there's still that stigma. And I'm like, is it just time that's going to wash that away?
I think so. And I really wish that especially the mental health portion, I really wish that stigma would start to, get demystified a little bit more, a little bit quicker. And I really like the resiliency part that we've been trying to integrate a lot. And I get the eye rolls when we start talking about resiliency because the commanders is like, it's all about your feelings. And it's not. It's about, having some tools in your toolbox to cope with everyday issues and to bounce back, to be resilient. We teach that to the families while the service members are deployed. We have a lot of resiliency for the kids too. We have resiliency for the kiddos. So I really wish that I could teach that more. That would be great.
Yeah, I think even for me personally too, it's like, even when I get thank you for your service, I kind of feel like, well, I'm not deployed and I'm not even in a deployable AFSC. So I feel like those
Doesn't
resources,
matter.
but it's like when we're talking about stigma, that's my own personal barrier. I feel like where it's like, well, there's somebody else out there who needs it more than I do. So I don't want to get in the way of them being able to access it, as if these resources are limited, but it seems like it's more of a...
It's for everyone.
Yeah.
Regardless of your situation, regardless of your station, regardless of your rank. I think the reason why our programs aren't utilized enough is because people have your opinion. Oh, somebody else needs it more than I do. And that's just not the case. I talk to folks all the time about crisis management. Well, what's a crisis to you may not be a crisis to me. But if it's a crisis to you, now it's a crisis to me. Right. So you just need to keep that in mind when you're talking with especially if you've got junior enlisted under you. Point them in the right direction as well. Yeah. You don't know what you don't know, so we'll just keep disseminating the information as much as we can.
Get them in touch with somebody who does know.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, I am the point of contact for everything in this wing. So, if you don't know where to go, come and see me. We always have a resource in the wing, especially with our J9 now. We have a JAG that's full-time with us. It's awesome. He has helped so many folks with their stuff. Good. It's been great.
Good.
Yeah. So if you need anything, just come see me. If I don't know the answer, I will find somebody who does.
Well, if you don't have anything else, Stephanie, I just want to make sure again that we have your contact info. You said by text, by phone, by email.
Yep.
Did we already mention those?
Nope, but I can give it to you now. So
right,
my cell phone is 303-827-9629. So that's text and phone. Office number is 847-9116. And my email, I should be the only one in the global, but it's Briana, Briana Ontiveros, Ontiveros.1 at us.af.mil.
All right. Is there anything else you want to leave us with?
Nope. I just want to thank the wing for all of their support with all of our programs. Colonel Worrell and Colonel Tucker have been our biggest advocates for promoting all of the J9 and all of the family programs. And we've got great support within the wing. Very good leadership.
Well, thank you for all you do for us.
Oh, you're very welcome.
All right.